Marn on the blue side, TSM on the red, and they're leaving their bases.
So we'll see what they end up doing here at level 1. I'm looking at the team comps, and there's not crazy pick potential from anyone, right? Like Jarvan isn't that threatening at level 1 aside from the flag and give him vision. Katarina can't really hop around because she needs her spills to combo that, right? Like there's no big picks. The best pick would be a Wither from the odd one. So like unless someone face checks a bush straight into 5 people, we're not going to see a fight. But speaking of which, they're real close to each other.
Well, that does mean that TSM spots Marn running across the map. And of course, Marn doesn't know they've been seen here. This is TSM's opportunity.
They might go
to make something happen. Neon is waiting around by himself.
Oh my god.
And he struts away.
There's just not enough pick potential. They really need someone to walk straight into a brush if they wanted to make something happen, and Marn just ended up running by. So this gives TSM knowledge. They know exactly where Marn went. And
off they go.
They actually don't know that Marn didn't go into their blue buff. So this is a very dangerous move theoretically for TSM. It's just Marn isn't there to counter.
You know, Marn are actually trying to like find TSM's invade. The Glitter Lance like came out at the bottom half of the jungle. TSM sweeps through. Of course, they ward the blue buff themselves. And everyone's going to make their way back to their own jungles here.
And just based off the path that TSM took versus the path that Marn took, those 2 wards that TSM got in there are not going to be predicted by Marn. Just because of the way Marn ran back through their own jungle, they're like, there's no way TSM is here. They do not see us. So Claky D is going to think he's undetected at blue, but TSM's going to know.
This will be interesting. We'll see if that ends up panning out to much. Claky D and Mega Zero, of course, starting off that Wolf camp quite easily. They are revealed by a TSM ward. We'll see if that turns out into much right here, because I don't see anyone from TSM looking to stop this. This blue buff right now going to Claky D.
I think it's mainly just the vision knowledge. They are opting into a 2v2 as well, which is a little strange. That's a lot of confidence in Wild Turtleneck Special to go up against Neon Tonso and Heartbeat, knowing that they're really double golems against Wolves, so the double golems do give a little bit more experience, and Neon Tonso got to lane before Wild Turtle, so they're already digging themselves a really, really tiny hole that they're going to have to kind of like bunny hop out of, but we'll see how it goes.
Unfortunately, though, Riven not in this game, so bunny hopping will be a little bit more difficult for them.
That's tough.
Echo, though, already aggressed on by Reginald. The Ignite was already spent, so Reggie's trying to play aggro here, but of course there are still 8 potions here for Echo. I feel like he'll sustain through this.
Reginald went for the 8 pots as well, so it's going to be a very drinky drink mid lane. They're going to try to harass each other, and it's like both of those champions are melee, so they do get to trade a lot with each other, and Reginald already looking to make something happen with an early invade. Just checking some stuff out.
He put a ward down right by the Wraith Brush. Echo does kind of the same and spots Reginald going back to lane. That will potentially give them some pressure against Claky D. The top lane is actually Dyrus pushing on early, and Mega Zero trying to hold on to this one. 3-9 right now in minions up there.
So that top lane will be extremely interesting, because this is one of those Mega Zero matchups where he's not actually bringing a brawler, right? Like, he doesn't have the Ignite. He's probably not going to be getting solo kills on Dyrus, and he actually has to be the consistent one who survives in lane, which is a different role for Mega Zero to be in. But the last time he played Malphite, he actually had a really strong game as well, so we'll see if he can do it again.
And of course, we're seeing Claky D in the mid lane standing on top of a ward and looking to gank Reginald. He will not make that mistake. Audun actually waits by his turret to counter gank this if anything should happen, and instead he says, nope, wolves for me.
Nasus still mainly about the farming. He can pull off some ghost ganks, but they're rarely that potent. You kind of have to hope the enemy super overextends or doesn't have escapes in order for him to pull off ganks, so I think the odd one going to be safely farming for the most part as Reginald tries to throw down harass on Echo, but that lane isn't going to have much happening until they run out of potions.
But let's take a look at this bottom lane. The Wild Turtle has been dropped down below half health right now. The Big Special just tries to pump healing into that poor little rat right there. The Tonso and Heartbeat have shoved to the turret, and they've built themselves actually a small minion kill lead with all their antics in lane so far. Take a quick look at the top of your screen. You're seeing 5.1 to 5.2, a slight gold lead overall for Team Solo Mid.
And the gank up top is a little bit undetected from Claky D. If Dyrus slices in, Claky D's going to go, but I don't know if Dyrus is that bold to go. I think Claky's still going to gank. Audun would be there for a counter.
Well, he is going to be riding around in the brush. He goes for the knock. He does land that onto Dyrus. Where will he go? He's going to dash forward. There's the Audun. He has ghosted in. Claky D's going to take the Wither. He's dropped down below half health already. He's going to flash into this one, but he is probably going to go down. First blood goes to Dyrus. He's going to like double buffs here, and they are just matching in this game.
I feel like Claky D got a little caught out there. The counter gank was very well timed by the odd one, and they focused the jungler in that case because the double buffs were much more important than the kill on Mega Zero. Now they could be very bold and try to get a kill, but for the most part they're just withering Mega Zero and trying to farm as much as possible at the turret. That was a great move by TSM.
A great pickup overall. You're seeing them build a 700 gold lead because of that one. Mega Zero still again withered under his turret, trying to keep that alive. Drop below a third health. And it looks like the turret will live, but of course his jungler did not. And Echo still getting pushed around by Reginald here.
Look at the minion kills, though. This lane is just even. 36 to 35. The big lead is just in the top lane for Dyrus getting that kill on Renekton. Reginald is out of mana, but I feel like he's completely content with this. He's going to go back with 1,000 gold, probably pick up like a double Doran's Ring or something, and then go for kills at 6, right? Like, Diana is a great matchup against Katarina. He can just stop the channels immediately, and anytime Echo goes in, he can get the slow on him. So Reginald will look to be making plays in that game shortly, that lane shortly.
Yes, and we'll see how that ends up panning out. Right now, the bottom lane, though, they have not gone back to buy. Though right now, 1,300 gold does sit in Niantanso's pockets. He's pushing up to the wave, and with that pink ward in the river, it seems they are not too afraid of the odd one ganking here. And as they keep pushing in towards the turret.
Want to see if TSM does anything about this lane, or if they're content with the way the game is going. Because while Turtle's surviving, they're not losing, but they're definitely not shutting down Niantanso, and MF is being the lane bully right now. So nothing is really wrong with that lane for TSM, but they're not getting the lane edge that they could be if they put more attention into that lane.
Well, you just saw Reginald pushing in onto Echo, so certainly he's trying to make moves right here. Katarina is looking to farm. Reggie once more with that ward over the wall. And MRN just over and over and over again, they are pushing. Dyrus, though, he wants to make a move. Of course, the blue buff does spawn in the next 40 seconds, and he puts a ward down to spot it.
So here's the play that TSM wants to make, I think, with that ward. They know that Mega Zero is down teleport. Never mind, he just hit level 6. I was thinking they're going to try to move before Mega Zero hit level 6 and go for the blue, but that is actually not the case. So, false alarm.
False alarm indeed. Dyrus will have his ultimate available. Of course, as he's hit 6. Niantanso still in this battle. Heartbeat missing a Q. And they're just panning, they're just kind of going back and forth, 12 minions apart in this bottom lane. They're just kind of slowly creeping around. It's the mid lane that is interesting. A 5 minion kill lead puts Echo in the front right here, but that's not too big of a deal. The blue buff will be spawning in the next few seconds. This will be TSM's time to go for it. Yeah,
and when Reginald came back to lane, he didn't actually bring any health potions. He instead opted for the ward that he placed. And they know Claky D is here at level 5. The invade is coming in, and Dyrus has actually beaten Mega Zero to the spot. Let's see if Claky D can get out of this one.
He did smite that one away. There comes the flash stun coming in from Dyrus down below. 200 health, the flag toss, and the Akka from Mega Zero. Will it be enough? Dyrus not in range for anything, and he gets out. But Echo getting chased out by Reginald. This could be a kill potential. He's certainly taking some damage. Echo goes for the haste again. Reginald will not dive this turret. Thankfully, just barely for MRN fans, Claky D gets out.
You know what? That was great for MRN because they burned multiple ultimates. Dyrus used his flash and his ultimate. Reginald went over there. Odd One wasted time and didn't get anything. And since Claky D didn't die, Mega Zero actually made it back to lane a little bit before Dyrus. On top of that, in the mid lane, Echo got enough harass down onto Reginald, who was out of health potions, that he might actually have a bit of presence in this lane to make something happen.
He certainly has shoved Reggie back to his turret one more time and wants to keep the pressure on. Of course, Reggie is actually taking a fair bit of poke as that goes down. And now that Claky D has made his way back to base to heal, he's starting his own Lizard buff here. And this one, much less pressured.
Definitely not the pressure on the other side of the map. TSM still holds the control over the majority of this game, and they're kind of just letting the status quo go. They know that in the team fights, because they have Renekton and Nasus ultimates running, they should have a little bit of an edge. It is so hard to overcome both those ultimates in a team fight. Wild Turtle doing fine in that lane, right? Like, he's got the same items aside from the red elixir, and until that red elixir gets popped by Niantanso, he's okay. I think Xpecial and Wild Turtle are playing this lane very conservatively, and they're just going to wait for the team fight phase.
Okay, so you mentioned the team fights here. TSM clearly have been making some early moves, the blue steel, whatnot. Are they going to start pressuring Dragon as well now, or where are they going?
I think the Dragon would be something they want to go for kind of soon, but MRN is much better equipped to handle it, right?
Okay.
Mega Zero's got a teleport to come down. MRN also has the wards over the Dragon, and most importantly, the lane that is closest to the Dragon, which is Niantanso and Heartbeat, are beating Wild Turtle a little bit. So it's a risky move for TSM to go for a Dragon, and they might actually kind of wait for MRN to make a move and then try to counter it.
Okay, we'll see if TSM does that, and if MRN makes any moves themselves, or if they want to farm it back up. The gold lead still just at 6,700 right now, so just the first blood gold is what separates these teams right now. Niantanso out farming, doing what he can. Echo finding some pressure in the mid lane. Reginald with the blue buff is actually looking quite nice now, finding a lot of damage. Echo goes for the spin, does push Reggie back. So they are just trading constantly here.
Yeah, and Reggie just goes right back in again. They're trying to get as aggressive as possible. They might just try to get some lane pressure down here as Odd One runs into the lane. But it is just Reggie being his aggressive self, down in CS, but still going big.
But on the top lane, though, you're seeing that Mega Zero's turret has been pressured so incredibly well by Dyrus. He's been immune to gank so far, or counter ganked when he was hit. And Mega Zero's turret is just getting hit lower and lower and lower. It's got 444 health left on it. And in the mid lane, it's Reginald and Aubin pushing in as well. Not quite a knock up here from Claky D. They won't quite find a kill.
That was a real nice juke by Reginald. He actually jumped to Claky D before Claky D went through him, so I was like, well, I just swapped places with you. Gank failed. What you gonna do now? The turret does go down in the top lane, and that was somewhat a result of because Reginald and Oddone were pushing mid so much, no one could lend assistance top lane. And here comes Oddone behind the Intanso. TSM going in.
They're putting in a lot of damage. The haste comes out from Heartbeat. But there is the odd one. They're going to actually wither onto Heartbeat. Will he keep himself alive? There's the flash. He's still got Wild Growth. Pops it. Still trying to run. The crescendo comes off across two. But here comes Mega Zero. They find a double kill for Niantanso. And now they're chasing Wild Turtle. He's going to stealth out, but it only lasts 4 seconds at rank 1. Mega Zero does not want to chase him out. Gets revealed, they don't keep going.
And we got to keep in mind, Mega Zero teleported down for the double kill, but Dyrus ran down for a kill mid. And now TSM is going to be pressuring that turret. So even though it was a miraculous play by Mega Zero, Dyrus made a smart, consistent play, ran down, and actually TSM gets the turret out of this and the overall advantage.
Oh my gosh, TSM are looking absolutely on point. Great moves by them. Wild Turtle's going to actually open up on a Niantanso. It's going to be close. The double up comes across. I feel like Niantanso's winning this fight. Oh, they trade kills. Then Wild Turtle gets the better deal by 60 gold, actually.
Well, Wild Turtle is a little bit crazy. He knew he actually won that, you're right, because there is an increased bounty on Niantanso that the trade was overall worth it for Wild Turtle, but man, that takes some guts.
It does. So you mentioned the kill that Dyrus got in the mid lane. Let's take a quick replay of that one.
Yeah, so this one was literally just him walking down. Echo gets engaged on by Reginald, and Dyrus just flies in. Has nothing to do with the kill. I thought he was going to have something to do with the kill. Reginald soloed him. Dyrus was there in spirit.
Dyrus was there in spirit. Moral support. The cheerleader Dyrus was there. And now you can just see that Team Solo Mid have picked up the Dragon for themselves. And just like Complexity vs. Dignitas, unanswered, not even trying to stop it.
So that was really just, you know, maybe that had something to do with the move that they made Wild Turtle pick up. Because there was neither AD carry there for the fight, right? And since Dyrus was in the bottom lane anyway when that happened, TSM just had the numbers advantage for the Dragon. They could take it for free. Oddone popped his ultimate to make it go down super fast, and I think that was a smart overall play by TSM.
Now let's see where you pick up the pieces from here. TSM have been making the better moves so far. 2,000 gold. You mentioned the team fights would be in their favor. We haven't seen one just yet, though. Niantanso with a finished Bloodthirster. We'll see if he does anything with that himself. Can MRN even make a move with something here? Can they find a turret, maybe?
I think MRN's going to want to continue pressure on the bottom turret since they don't expect the repeat ganks to happen. They really need to get some kind of map pressure back because they've lost a Dragon and 2 turrets. So even though they've been out farming that bottom lane, they have to make it count a little bit. That's why they're continuing to go down on this. Once they kill this bottom turret, Niantanso will be able to go elsewhere, and they might get some of the rest of their map presence back because they've lost the other 2 lanes.
Here we go. Dyrus versus Mega Zero in the top lane. They are brawling back and forth pretty constantly. So far, Dyrus has had the better sort of deal of this one. He's up 30 minion kills and a kill overall. Echo just stuck in this mid lane right here. And actually looks like the bottom lane is not going to be contested. Niantanso will get that turret kill, and that is the first for MRN so far. The rest of TSM have run to the top lane trying to find their 3rd turret kill so far.
And Echo's here to support it, but look at the pressure they're going to Mega Zero. They're flying in.
They're trying to do as much damage as they can. Echo has joined back up with his ulti, dropping Dyrus dangerously low. Mega Zero did not want to burn his ult as a part of that battle. And instead, TSM will just walk away without too many cooldowns burned. Niantanso and Claky D, they're actually going to go in. The Wild Growth lands out of special. There's the Cataclysm. The bullet time coming across as well. They get that kill despite the crescendo. And Claky D's going to walk back out in style. Gigantic as well. This turret dropping in health. Niantanso probably can find this.
And this is the pressure continuing on the other side as well. TSM diving.
The ult comes off from Mega Zero, though. Can they get the damage output that they need? Aubin dangerously low, has been ignited as well. Turret shot's not quite going to be enough. Echo left alone, but can he find something to clean up? Finds Reginald. Can he get the axe? Yes, he'll find 1 kill, gets the resets, but he doesn't see the Aubin off onto the side. He's going to run right back through the jungle, 1 for 1 over there.
That was a very admirable play by Reginald, making sure to space from the odd one so that even though Echo got the kill, he couldn't cascade it into more. This game just got super, super interesting because the big leading lane that MRN had with Niantanso really took advantage of it. So they got the double turret, and then when TSM was over pushing, trying to get it back, they couldn't close onto the Mega Zero and Echo thing and actually only traded the 1 for 1. So now the gold is even again. The objectives are even, and there's a very, very farmed Niantanso pressuring mid.
He's got a finished Bloodthirster well before 14 minutes. He's got 1,500 gold in his pockets as well. And Claky D is repeatedly picking up the Golem buff for himself. Unlike Reginald, who's been taking that from the odd one, Claky has a bunch of mana. Dyrus will be grabbing the red buff for himself, though that's, I think, the first time for him this map.